All right, so I'm going to be talking about this USC team against Stanford. I'm going to break down this matchup and why USC was able to win this game, because a lot of people were surprised after this matchup, which, if you know how to follow line moves, if you know how to read these lines, nothing should surprise you anymore. So, uh, it all works the same way. And the reason why so many people were consistently betting Stanford for this matchup that we just had is because of the history that Stanford has against USC. Okay, and the media, they use that to their advantage. Okay, because if you notice in the prior years, every time USC played Stanford, USC was always the heavily publicized team. Okay, in the past, in those past games, USC was always getting the public action. Okay, that is why it changed for this particular game. Okay, and the media use that to their advantage to sway the people in taking Stanford. Okay, that is why the media, they're assisting Vegas basically, because they use these storylines to assist and to sway people into betting the wrong team. Okay, and that is just how things work. And if you're more a savvy person, if you use common sense, you can get through it and understand why that these certain teams lose when they shouldn't be losing. Okay, so if you take a look at this USC Stanford matchup, first of all, Stanford has owned the Pac-12 conference and dominated USC in a particular with a simple, consistent formula. Okay, another reason why USC was getting no attention this week for this matchup is because they barely beat Western Michigan the previous week. I believe they won by 18 in that game, and they were favored by 28. So they didn't look good against this MAC team from Western Michigan. They didn't look good at all. That is another reason why people were doubting USC against Stanford. Okay, so what's gonna put the nail in the coffin with this matchup? Okay, and I'm going to show you right now why USC dominated them from start to finish and won 42-24. Okay, there was so much more value in taking USC this week. They probably have the best quarterback in college football, which nobody realized. Okay, completely overriding the fact that they probably have the best quarterback in college football. Okay, but I'm going to show you the percentages on this game. Okay, with that information that I just said, with the historic nature of Stanford, look how all the public was taking Stanford in this game. 62% and 60%, okay, which probably is a lot higher than that because these are just estimates, but we know that the public was siding with Stanford from the very beginning. Okay, so now Stanford's getting all the attention. Okay, and look what happened. USC comes in as a favorite. Okay, they make USC a favorite at home, and the public is taking the underdog. Okay, and if you've been watching my channel, if you've been watching my previous videos, I've been telling and saying, that's always a bad sign when the line makers and Vegas have a team favored and the public bettors are betting on the underdog. That's always a bad sign. Okay, especially if you know the history and you've done a little bit of research yourself. Okay, it's always a bad sign. Okay, so if you take a look at the actual game, okay, if I could find it here, this USC matchup, okay, I'm going to show you why they let's see. Okay, so right here, if you look at the opener, it was 5.5, and it dropped to 3.5, 4, and look at the line history on this game. Okay, so we pull this up here. I'm going to show you the line history. Okay, right here, 5.5. Look at how much movement this game had. 5.5. Okay, it went all the way up to 6, 6.5. Okay, so early money was betting on USC, which is obviously sharp money, wise guy money. Okay, people betting big amounts of money. I'm going to make another video about sharp and public action and why those are very similar. Okay, a lot of people think that sharp money and public action is the same thing, which it's not, or they think it's different, which it's not. It's the same thing. Okay, that'll be in another video. But look at the line went all the way to 6.5. Okay, so early money was betting USC. A lot of big bets were taking USC early. Okay, that doesn't confirm anything though. That doesn't say that it's more, it's inside information or anything like that. It doesn't say that. It just says that early money is betting on USC. Okay, then as we got later in the week, okay, it got as high as 7 actually. Then the public starts coming in, and look what happens. It starts going back down to 5. Okay, it went to 4.5, and then it went down to 3.5. Then it closed at 3.5. Okay, so that tells me right there that the public was starting to favor Stanford because of what the media was telling them. Okay, a lot of the public was starting to take Stanford at the very end, causing this huge adjustment, this huge line move. Okay, and that is why USC blew them out in this game, because like I explained, Stanford has a history of beating USC. The public was all over them, and the media was making it seem like USC could not win this game, and that's why USC stepped up and won this game. Okay, whether you want to call this game, controlled or favored by the refs, I saw the game, I don't want to comment on that, but that is the reason why Vegas made all this money on USC, because of the fact that Stanford had so much more money on them. Okay, so that's going to conclude this video. I'm going to be making another video on the difference between sharp bettors and public bettors and why they're the same exact thing. So comment, rate, and subscribe. Thanks for sharing my videos, and I'll see you then.